Hey there, fearless gamers, and welcome to another Back to Basics. I just recorded a video about cleaning your brushes. I will probably upload this one before that, so this is technically episode 6 and that one's episode 7, but whatever. Regardless of what order they go up in, I wanted to discuss with you how to choose your brushes, because that's something that we did touch upon in the episode of Touching Base, but again, didn't necessarily go into too in depth, and you don't necessarily want to have to sort through every episode of Touching Base to find a 3-minute discussion about brushes. Instead, I'm going to talk to you about what I've learned about choosing brushes. Now, in the brush world, there are two broader types of brush. You have the natural hair brush, like the sable brushes I've been showing you. This is, the Robert Simmons white sable brush, which is very, very good. I highly recommend them. And you have the synthetics, which is one of these bad boys. This is an Artist's Loft. These two are comparable brush types. Now, there's one instantly recognizable difference between the natural hair brush and the synthetic brush, and that's price. Synthetic brushes are pretty much across the board cheaper than natural hair brushes. Now, the reason for that is because you don't need an animal for you to get your bristles. You can just manufacture them. Whereas for a white sable brush, you need a, guess what? Sable. You need a little ermine guy running around that you're going to shave little bits off of to make your brushes. For a camel hair brush, you need a camel involved somewhere in the process. And that means there's going to be animal upkeep, there's going to be a whole slew of government agencies on you to make sure that you're treating the animals properly and all that sort of red tape, as it were. Whereas if you're just manufacturing a golden tacklon, which is one of the synthetic types, you're not going to have to deal with any of that overhead, as it were. I mentioned in Touching Base that you don't want to get synthetics. They're not very good, and a natural hair brush is just going to treat you far better. I stand by that. If you can afford to buy the natural hair brushes, such as the Robert Simmons White Sable, absolutely do it. And they are more expensive, but this brush, which is essentially the only brush I use, cost me $5 and change at a Blick. I own 3 of them, but I have this one, I have the one that I beat up and is now my base coat brush, and I have one that I got because of my birthday, just for when this one eventually dies on me. I don't intend on using this one anytime soon, because I plan on taking good care of this one. So for 3 brushes, yeah, I spent $15, and it did kind of hurt a little bit, but if you really intend on taking good care of it, and you have the extra money, please, for your own good, go with a sable, specifically. Sable is a very popular bristle choice amongst miniature painters, because it's wonderful. It holds the paint, it's very flexible, it's easy to clean, and they stay in good condition for longer. Whereas the synthetics, while they're far cheaper, you can get a set of 4 for like $5. They're just gonna go they're gonna go into the toilet on you a lot faster. I actually haven't even used this one, which is why it's in as good condition as it is. Let me find the one that I was using from this same set to show you just what happened to them in a very short period of time. These were the 2 I was using. Now, putting them against the white background hasn't helped. But yeah, they're not in the worst shape in the world, but they've completely lost their points, and they're not getting those points back. They started losing bristles on me, which, yeah, I said in my cleaning video that I've never lost a bristle. I should probably specify I've never lost a bristle in a non-synthetic brush. And it's just because synthetic hairs don't hold as well to the glue. It's just a fact of life. That doesn't make them bad brushes by any means. It just means you're going to have to really be careful with them to get any real life out of them. So, I still think the natural hairbrush is a better investment than the synthetics, but if you have to go synthetic, you'll live, you'll be able to paint it, it's not going to be the end of the world. That said, what kind of brush you should choose is also kind of daunting, because you'll look and there's 1,000 different types. There's rounds, there's flats, there's fans, there's weird angle ones. For what we're doing, rounds are best. This is a round, this is a round. Pretty much all the brushes I use for miniature painting are rounds. And that's because you can get that point with them. Even this brush, the one that I use for washes, is a round. But you can see that for its size, it's got a pretty solid tip. If I really wanted to get on like one of the Warhound Titans or something, I could use that and do some fairly detailed work with it. So I highly recommend round brushes. If you're going to get the Robert Simmons, the 785 series, there you go, 785 series, specifically the 0 number, which I think is like a 0.2 no, it's not a 0.2 millimeter, it's like a 20 millimeter, something like that. I'm gonna have the vet post the number either below the video or as one of those little like banner things you can put in the video, because I can't remember right now exactly what the measurement on that brush size is, but the reason I'm recommending that size is because it's able to hold a point that is capable of handling a pretty wide number of details, even the really small ones, as long as you're careful. And it makes it a very good all-purpose brush, from base coating to highlighting to detail work. It's just going to be a do-everything brush, which is why I'm willing to recommend a $5 brush to you guys, because you'll be able to do everything with it as long as you take care of it. So yeah, this video doesn't need to be any longer. I've said everything I need to say, so I'm going to call it. And by all means, if you have any further questions, leave a comment, get in touch with us on YouTube or Facebook, like the video, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and until next time, Fearless Gamers, take care.